Hello everyone, it's Comfort Beach Ambition and today we're going to focus on PHP Super Globals. Before you could get started, you have to understand what we are dealing with exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry about my voice, guys. It's so cold out here. So let's continue. Okay, a super global variable in PHP is a predefined variable that already comes with PHP as a built-in variable. So with super global variables in PHP, you don't have to declare them in any way on your code. They just come with PHP itself. PHP super globals, they were introduced in an earlier version of PHP. If I'm not mistaken, that was PHP version something there. Yeah, it was they were recently introduced in PHP. Yeah, where's my notepad? Okay, so today I'm on Linux. But don't worry, whatever I'll be doing here is going to work with you too. Okay, and I'm also on XAMP. Okay, so the super globals that we are going to focus on are going to be server, server, uh, re- request, request, third one, uh, okay, and also get for, okay, for post, fifth, uh, cookie, okay, and session. So these are the mostly used super globals in PHP. But as at now, at our stage, I don't want to make these episodes confusing to you guys. So for now, we're just going to go with these first four, and then as the time goes on, we're going to introduce each other to cookies and sessions. Yeah, so let me get rid of these of cookie and session so that we could see our target here. Okay, I'm going to create a new file. We're going to start with the server. Okay, we simply use the server super global to access our server. Yeah, just like a server. So we that includes the file path location. Yeah, the file path location, uh, the file path location, and the method used to access. Yeah, so that's what this server super global works for. Yeah, I'm going to create a new file which I'm going to name episode 13 PHP super globals. Okay, I've forgotten the extension .php. Okay, so I'm going to start the code here. Let me just start with the HTML here. No, I think it's fine. Let's go directly. So I'm just going to copy paste some codes from my repo. Yeah, so that instead of me explaining each and everything here, what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to be explaining what each of these does. So before that, let me run this code episode episode 13. Yeah, so we have this super global here, which is the self. Okay, before I could go through, there is my notepad. So whenever you're dealing with a super global, always make sure that they always start with the dollar sign underscore and then the global name. The global name. So when I'm dealing with the server super global, what you just have to take note is that here we can derive from this formula to create a server global by just simply writing server. Yeah, so now it doesn't just end like that. You need in the square brackets here, you need to specify the exact global that you would the exact value that you'd like to access here. So this is where the issue comes in. So this server super global, it does come with a lot of things that you can play around with, starting from PHP self here. this PHP self, it just displays the current directory or just the current folder. And here we have server name, which displays the domain name here, and here it just displays the host name. Okay, okay. So so here, if we want to display like uh, the current directory, we just have to pass in php self, just like that. So this is how we can use this super global. So starting from this, we have server php self, which does display the current directory. So here, if we do have a look at this directory here, we can see that it is named php tutsi. And so if we try to check here, on the first, okay, let's be going one by one. So we'll be going one by one. So let me comment out on everything here, so that get to understand what we are dealing with exactly. What we are dealing with exactly. So I'm just going to comment them out. Okay, it's done. So let's start with the PHP self here. Okay, so the PHP, if we want to access the current directory or the current path where the file that you have run on our PHP server is located, we could just simply use server, just write echo, and okay, echo, and then server. Here we just pass in php self. So what this will do is it's going to display a directory where this same file which we have run is located, including the folder in which it is located. So this is what it's doing here. If we type in echo server php server, it's just displaying everything here. It's just displaying everything, just the directory here. Yes. So even the directory here, including the file where it's located. So we have it. Okay, so this is the super global number one. Let's go to the second one, the server name. So the if we want to access the domain name on which the server is hosted, we could just simply use the server, and then we enclose it into server underscore name. And then it's gonna display that. Okay. Token is shipped. Let's try it out. Okay, so it's at the moment we are running on localhost. We are on a local computer, so it should display something like that. So it should display localhost. Let's try that. Yeah, so we have localhost. Okay, so now let's now display the host name of the current server here. How do we do that? We could just write down the server super global. You pass in HTTP host, so it's going to display the host name. So we have localhost again, and then here the referrer. If you want to display the server referrer, here here we are. So a server referrer simply means where the file where we came from before we came across the current page. So we came from this page, http localhost php toots, and then we clicked on superglobal.php file. That's how we came across this. Okay, so that's for referrer. Okay, we go to user agent. So a user agent is used to find out the information about the browser, and we can also use a user agent, yes, the information about the web browser. So here uh, we are on Linux 86. So this is all the information about our server here, and we're accessing it on Chrome. Yeah. So we also have this, and lastly, we have the script name. Lastly, have the script name. So the script name isn't that different from the PHP self. They just all display the folders where the file that you're running is located. Okay, so I think that's much about the server. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to comment out here, and then I'm going to start another PHP code here by just starting another syntax here, another syntax. Okay, so now we are now on request. So how do we use the request super global? So a request super global variable is used to find a method that you are using to the method that you are using to access the web, yeah, or the method that we are using to access the web. So we can use that request. So the request will tell us if we're accessing the web through get, post, or if we're accessing the web while uploading a file on it. So that's a file. Sorry, excuse. Okay, so now let's go. Let's get started. So uh, I want, so we'll talk more about the request method here when we go when we begin the series about forms. Yeah, so for now, all I could say is that for this episode, we can end from here. And we're going to meet in the next episode where we're going to start looking at the PHP forms, where I'm going to explain about the request super global, uh, get, and the post super globals. Thank you guys for your attention and see you in the next episode. Cheers.